someone were to say to me, what's Brewing a Better World all about, I would say it's how we try to organize our resources, our activities, and the way we think about the business so that we are having as positive of an impact on the world outside of our economic impact as we can. The 6 practice areas that we've identified with the Brewing a Better World framework, those are the 6 obvious ways that we're able in our business to reach out and help. We take 5% of pre-tax profits and we allocate it towards social and environmental projects. Half of that, historically, we've allocated to supply chain.
We're interested not just in the relationship, but in enabling them to have enough support, enough financial resources to maintain the quality of their coffee.
When we know that an organization is struggling, when we know that there might be cash flow constraints that are having an impact to coffee quality, we'll try to engage as appropriately as we can to understand more about that challenge and do what we can to help mitigate it. By virtue of our action and virtue of acting on our knowledge of what those challenges are, I feel as though we've had some pretty amazing impact with the folks that we've worked with at Origin.
Supporting local communities is the most visible manifestation of what it means to be a responsible citizen. It generally takes 3 main forms: grant making, volunteerism programs. The third is product donations.
Cafe Time has become a very, very important initiative for us.
Yeah, that's kind of good.
With that program, you get 52 hours during the year where you can take your normal work hours, and instead of being at work, you can go volunteer in the local community but still receive your normal wage.
We have 3 different Habitat for Humanity events going on right now. We helped restore a bridge in Salem, New Hampshire last month. 20 of our employees went out and cleaned up Charles River in canoes.
We have a crew go up and sort food at Northwest Harvest Food Bank. We have a couple of employees that volunteer regularly on their days off to help the Sumner Food Bank. They repair equipment or just go along and work.
I can go to my daughter's school, or I can go to the local food bank. They don't tell us where we can go or what we need to do.
It gives us the time to give back, not just the money to do so.
The environment aspect of corporate social responsibility is one of the easiest ones to gain buy-in for and get support from.
If you want to get the operations people on board, you want to go into them and say, we can save you some money. We're going to recycle our cardboard, and they're going to start to pay you $1,200, $1,500 per tractor trailer load for every tractor that leaves here.
We've been doing 25 to 30 tons of recycling a week that keep that product out of landfill.
Right now, 50% plus of the waste we generate gets diverted out of the landfill into either recycling or composting.
The solar array is a great example of a partnership between a state entity, a utility, and a public company.
On a sunny day, can provide as much as 50% of the electricity draw in that distribution center. And then how we think about our greenhouse gas emissions. With our offsets, we're supporting the construction of windmills, methane recapture at dairy farms, so it adds to the grid capacity for green energy. The offsets we purchase build social capital in communities that need it.
What are you going to do that gives you inner peace? And for me right now, contributing to moving the corporation forward, to moving the environmental initiatives forward, to educating other people in the business world is probably what gives me the greatest joy.
Every time we go to the store, every time we go to a cafe and buy a cup of coffee, we have a chance to vote with our purchasing dollars for a better world.
It's about educating people about what sustainability can look like in the products that they choose. I think the best example of that is our commitment to fair trade certified coffee.
Our commitment to fair trade is tens of millions of pounds of coffee, and it's a lot of money. And we're one of the largest fair trade organic buyers in the country, in the world.
That creates an enormous market pull for coffee from the farmers that we're financing.
And so if you can turn that cup of coffee into an act of grace and goodwill, you've done something truly remarkable.
It's also being responsible within our community. Anytime that they say that they're going to do something, they go 2 steps further.
Examples of that in the past would be the creation of the Eco-Tainer, which was the first hot-to-go beverage cup made with renewable materials.
Just the first year alone, the amount of cups that we purchased took 250,000 pounds of polystyrene, polyethylene out of the marketplace.
We then leveraged that learning and incorporated the PLA into the packaging film for our 8 and 10 ounce bags in grocery. Every consumer products company has a packaging challenge. We're no different in that respect. We have sustainability challenges with our packaging. What I believe, what I hope separates us is how we approach those challenges.
We know that we are not as great as we possibly could be as an organization. We have not achieved what we're capable of until we satisfy our own concerns about the environmental impact of the K-Cup.
We've been investing significant resources since day one in trying to really understand the problem and then design a solution that will help us mitigate the environmental impact of that K-Cup. Working together for change in many ways underlies everything we do, whether it's working with stakeholder-based organizations like the Global Reporting Initiative or the United Nations Global Compact, whether it's partnering with NGOs on the ground like the Jane Goodall Institute for the Golden Bay Reserve Coffee, other organizations that work directly in coffee growing communities throughout the developing world like Coffee Kids or Grounds for Health.
Well, Green Mountain Coffee Roasters is a corporation with a big heart. Green Mountain employees may not be coming on trips with us or even sending us checks, but they'll get out there and they'll wash cars for us.
Working together for change really underlies everything we do. It's about trying to identify what's the challenge, what's the thing we're trying to fix, or the opportunity we're trying to take advantage of, and who can we bring in to help make this just a wild success.
To be able to develop a career that is really a reflection of my own personal values has been an extraordinary experience.
I like making a difference in the world, and GMCR is allowing me to do that.
They helped me grow into who I am today.
It's an excellent organization, the pinnacle of my career so far.
I say it with pride. I work for Green Mountain Coffee Roasters.
You want to work for a company that you're proud of. Your company's working to help people halfway across the world build a better life, and they're cleaning up the river in your hometown. Having a commitment that encompasses all these areas, I think, adds immeasurably to the employment experience. I think our philosophy about CSR, it's deceptively simple. I think as it's grown up and evolved, it's become more complex along with the business, and I think that reflects our hopefully increasing sophistication about the issues, as well as a number of different perspectives that weigh in to the conversations. But I think the philosophy is that at the end of the day, what do we all want to do? We all want to help. So let's find ways to do that inside the business, and it's probably going to lead us to a whole lot of better business outcomes as well.